Deleted session, September 24th, 1973. Good evening. Now, Dr. Seth has a few preliminary remarks. Give us time, as always with this kind of session. Rob noted, very relaxed. They said, condition today was the result of Friday's news. Rob noted about the very good sales of all of Jane's books. They said, and the body was ridding itself of attention. Rupert is aware that those purposes served by his physical condition are quickly vanishing. That is, he took on the symptoms because he believed that physical restraint was the best way to ensure his concentration. I do not want to duplicate material given. For creative, financial, and other present reasons, however, he felt that stern disciplinary measures had to be taken. He took this for himself, and also in his own way for you, feeling that when he began to make it, you would also be freer to do your thing. He is now reassured enough to drop the disciplinary measures. He thought previously that Eleanor and Dick would be a means, and there was a period from the time when you met them until now, when for him everything was critical. The carrot was out before the horse, the promise of where he wanted to be. These are just short phrases. He believes now that he is in a pretty fair position. While he can happily accept creatively and financially, he has also learned along the way it was not really great wealth, but some acceptable framework of financial security he was after, and some assurance that his books would bring him this, along with the freedom of creativity as he understood it. There was some resentment against you, for he could not accept what he considered as a sacrifice on your part in jobs throughout your life, and yet he was angry because you would not do. He thought that he had done, tried to do your creative best, and then forced the marketplace to take it. So, if you had a job, he felt you were sacrificing. But if you did not, then he expected you to paint your best and make the world take it and pay for it. Now, on his part, it was precisely that conflict that got him into difficulty, and that brought about the ideas of work. He became angry, and still is, when you show normal criticism of printers and their dealings with our books or his, because he feels that you do not really understand how difficult it is to market creative work, and since you do not sell your paintings, you should not criticize his admittedly worrisome efforts. The fact that some of your criticisms are justified makes him worry the more, that he is not doing as good as a job as he should. He will not brook interference from anyone, including Richard Bach, in terms of dealing directly with the publisher of his own works. Your part in personal reality has been important, however, and the notes particularly as they contribute. He wanted you both to be in a position where you could hold your heads up creatively and financially. Now, give us a moment. He felt that in a way he was doing this for both of you, that despite what you said, if you wanted to paint for a living, or rather simply to paint and thereby live, you would take those chances that he was taking, and whatever consequences that followed. When you found what those consequences were, for Rupert at least, You wanted no part of them. But in the old contract, you had securely made it this life. Either of you would have done anything he felt, to paint and write and make the world accept what you did and pay for it. So he was keeping the terms of the old contract. In the meantime, you had learned so much, and so had he, but he still interpreted what he learned in the light of those old beliefs. He now realizes he has what he wanted, a creative framework in which to exist, with some financial independence. But he is now faced with body beliefs that have been built up as a result of the previous conflicts, and those are what you have to combat. Today, the body began to rid itself of tension. Rupert is so used to body tensions that he felt disoriented and afraid. He does not need to go to a doctor, but he does need to pay attention to the physician within, and to heed the body's ancient wisdom. Now, I will give you a break, and then continue with some practical suggestions. Now, the original reasons for the condition was vanishing. In order to bring about those conditions, however, Rupert reactivated old body beliefs that now have to be dealt with. He had healthy enough body concepts that had to be minimized to give him the symptoms, and this was done by reactivating beliefs he had grown out of before his symptoms. His mother gave him the idea that he was not graceful, for example, and this idea was reactivated. He was not allowed to take physical education because he was not strong enough and too high-strung. When he was in high school, he was told not to run but walk, to slow down because it was too dangerous to go fast, because he was too nervous. Now those beliefs which he had dispensed with were reactivated as aids, and they are the ones that now must be tackled. Your body can now perform better. That should be used as a morning and evening suggestion, and anything you can say will be of help in that regard. It is highly important as a body belief. He must trust the relaxation period. There are periods where there is some disorientation, as the body rids itself of tensions at its own pace, and they will be followed by periods of physical ambition. He must trust the physician within. Concentration should not be on work, but on aspects, poetry, his ideas. He is learning indeed the use of a different kind of inspirational time, which conflicts with his old ideas of so many hours. While he is adjusting to this, let him take 3 hours a day, including Saturday, in which he is to be creatively free. He will do more work than in 6 determined hours. Each day now, I want him to take his work even if it is only around the house. The corner is fine, but around the house is better than none, and to sit down for bowel movements. He is to check with you when he feels blue, for your more objective attitude can help him. You are now left with the body beliefs, and not with the original ones behind them. He lost confidence in the body as a result of his course, and lost trust in his conscious mind as it directs the body. My book will help him. Now, these are my week's suggestions, and I want, besides what I have just given you, a 10-minute badminton session daily, or pounding of the pillow for a lesser time, but one or the other. He must be encouraged to use the body, for the will see it respond, and the feedback is highly important for his confidence. We are dealing now with body beliefs. Then, Impress upon him that he is not moving too fast, that he is not so nervous, that he must slow down, meaning slowing down the body. Rupert is left with the body image that he acquired. He is afraid that he cannot undo what he has done. He can indeed, but he needs to develop confidence in that belief, and each physical achievement is of great benefit. To some extent, he still projects his illness into the future. Any help you can be results in reinforcing his attractiveness and your belief in his ability to improve physically. I will have other precise suggestions. They are geared to his progress, and later a change of environment will be important simply because of the breakup of conditioning. I will have you both do the point of power exercise, but for now, I expect this week's suggestions to be faithfully followed. He wants to recover now. You must help him realize that he can, if at all possible, go to an establishment at least once a week, where dancing is a possibility. If not, any kind of public endeavor is important. He can expect more relaxation periods now, so have him go along with them and watch his moves then. Give us a moment. Slow down because you are going too fast, was told him in his youth. He reactivated those ideas, interpreting them to mean that he must slow down in order to produce mature work. Naturally, left alone, his body and his mind both work fast, and there is nothing dangerous in that. He had been told he would burn himself out, so he came into his late 30s and tried to slow down. This has been covered in past sessions, many of them. He can trust himself and his own reasons, however. You have working for you the fact that the beliefs causing the condition are quickly vanishing. You are left with subsidiary beliefs involving body motion that have to be directly encountered and challenged. The vitamins do help combat the stress he places upon the body, but only while he works with these sessions and his beliefs. Your agents were involved, in that he felt you had only so much time. Remind him that the ideas he reactivated about the body may have had some application to a child, but none to a woman. You have yourself obtained benefit from this last group of sessions, understanding the reasons for Rupert's condition, so that your gentle encouragement now can be highly advantageous. He has been using his will to put his body down. He must realize, and he does not yet, that the will can be just as effective in releasing his body. In reminding him of this, you can also be of help, for he was afraid that his will was powerless in that regard. The guidelines for the work I have given are simple and not overtaxing. I want them clearly followed daily. Now, do you have questions? Ralph said, No, I guess not. Seth said, You are both heading for financial ease. The boat will again do better. This fact alone will help Rupert's condition. Your own plans are unconsciously made. You will contribute creatively and financially. While you have been concerned with Rupert, unconsciously in certain terms, you have solved creative dilemmas, and soon opportunities will present themselves beside those you will make. Rupert's condition will improve. That is already established. But there is a great difference between improvement and the relatively complete physical freedom he can have. That will come as he realizes his conscious control over his body's condition. Now, I bid you a fond good evening. As per your article, a black hole was involved. Ralph said, Thank you, good night.